A number of years ago, I was talking with my parents about youth ministry because at the time I was a youth pastor and I was working very hard, but I was starting to get a little frustrated. Okay. And my parents said to me, one of the things that helps longevity in a job is if you not only do the job, but you become a specialist about it. I was like, oh, that's really interesting. So I started doing deep dives on youth ministry and how to do it and how to do it better, how to do it in a way that's creative but also grounded. And it was so fascinating reading all these things. And along the way, I also heard someone else say that the best people in a job are the ones that put themselves out of a business, put themselves out of a job. You want to teach other people how to do your job so that you, in some sense, don't have to. Well, I decided at that point that I would try to help other people do the youth ministry themselves, because there's always this push in a church world that the youth director, the youth pastor, has to be the one doing all the ministry, always the one doing Sunday school, always the one doing the retreats, always the one speaking on the retreats, always the one writing the lessons, all of that. Well, here's what I decided to do. When I left youth ministry at the end of 2021, wow, I had been doing youth ministry for 20 years. And over that time, I always said, you don't need to have a youth pastor in your church. Not if everyone in that church understands themselves in that role. In fact, you really don't even need a whole lot more than that. You don't need to have a paid person on staff. You don't even necessarily have to have a formal ministry at your church if the home is understood as a place of youth ministry. So what I did was I made a free PDF. I wanted to shift and see if I could spend the rest of my days creating stuff for people like yourself that are probably interested in youth ministry but don't quite know what to do, and certainly if you're a parent. So here we go. So I made this. It's a free PDF, and it's 30 principles for faithful parents of youth. And so if you're a faith-oriented person and you wanted to try to pay attention to what is some helpful insights or tips, here's 30 of them from a guy that did youth ministry for 20 years. Okay? So let's talk through just a few of these principles. One, don't expect your youth to be more spiritually mature than you. That's a pretty good one. Number two, you got to work on you, not get someone else to work on them. Youth ministry is not about handing your kids off so that they can have a positive influence. Work on yourself. And by doing that, you're actually doing one of the best things for them in the long run. Three, it's your job to focus on the environment, not theirs. You're the one that sets the tone at home. It's not them. They might have outbursts, but what does it look like for you to protect the environment of the home? Four, you can't change them. Your teenager, your youth. All you can do is change how you respond to them. And of course, Paths Are Made by Walking by Antonio Machado. That's a poem saying that there is no path. Paths are made by walking. And you might have had a particular spiritual path that maybe included church at a certain point. Maybe it didn't until later. But you know what? Your youth has to have the freedom to do their journey for themselves. And it likely will not look exactly like how you did your path. And so give them that freedom. You would want that freedom for yourself, so give it to them. So here's 30 principles. And you can get this for free. Just sign up, click the link down there in my description. You'll also be added to my email list, in which every Friday I give out 5 things that I've recorded in my personal journal, quotes or ideas, videos or something. But then also you can keep up to date with things like this that I'm going to put out every so often. So here's 30 principles for faithful parents of youth. And this is completely geared towards those of you that maybe don't have a youth pastor at your church, but would like to understand from somebody behind the scenes, from somebody that was in the ring for 20 years, what are some things, what are some wisdom, some insights that would be really helpful for me to know as a parent from someone that actually did youth ministry for 2 decades? All right. So please check it out and shoot me an email. Grace and peace. All right. Cheers to you.